Welcome everybody to a new My Hero Academia video, and guys, today we have the ultimate Todoroki guide. Um, it's been a while since I did the last guide for a free character. The last one was Ida, so in that one, I think it was in that one, right, on Ida's guide, that I left a poll for you guys to vote which ultimate guide would you like to see next. And Todoroki was the most voted character, or the character that got the most votes, right? So here it is. We streamed today. Was a really chill time. We were just vibing with some music and making the guide. So next time that I make an ultimate guide, I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna stream so you guys can hop in, just vibe with the chill music, and we just talk about a bunch of things and stuff like that while we make the guide, right? So it's just to have a good time. And but now it's time to actually get into the guide itself. So as you can see, the miscellaneous part is almost completely empty because, again, I'm just leaving that up to you guys. If you have any suggestions, anything that you want to add or that you want to see there, more than welcome. I'll add it. I got a bunch of recommendations for the Shigi guide. I got a bunch of stuff for the Shigi guide, so that was very, very, very nice. So same thing for the Todoroki guide, right? If you guys have anything that you want to add, please feel free to tell me and I'll put it in here. So yeah, the guide I think looks pretty nice. So yeah, before we begin, of course, as usual, remember guys that I'm just making this pretty guides, right? I'm just shaping them and giving them the aesthetics, but the big brain behind these guides is Yuji, or Dan. He is the brain behind these operations, so just keep that in mind, that the credit for the big brain ideas, the big brain stuff here goes always to him. And without further ado, we can just start. Let's go and start with the abilities first. Alright guys, so let's go through his abilities, right? So him being actually a free-to-play character, his abilities are actually very, very straightforward. He does have two sets of abilities, right? Similar to other characters like Endeavor, for example. So yeah, he really does remind you a little bit of Endeavor and other characters like that, kind of like Shigi too, a little bit, right? But yeah, he's just a free to or Tokoyami, right? But he's like free to play, so his abilities are very straightforward, which is a very refreshing take after Shigaraki, to be completely honest with you guys. So yeah, let's start with his Flame Q. So basically, his Flame Q is just going to deal damage and switch you into turn you into his fire form, pretty much. Same with his Ice Q, right? His Ice Q, right, is also just going to turn you into his ice form. So the thing with these two forms, right, is that you first want to fill up your bar at the bottom, right, with whichever element you're in right now. For example, right now I'm on ice, right? And then you can see that you get kind of like a shiny new Q, right? And so basically what that means is that your Q is going to deal double damage if the bar at the bottom is filled up all the way, right? So if I use my Ice Q right now, right, it's going to deal, you saw right there, it's like 5,000 damage or something like that. But if I charge my bar at the bottom all the way, right, and then I use my Fire Q, it deals 40,000, right? So let me just use my charged Ice Q so that I can show you guys. Last time it was 5,000 damage. Let's see how much it does right now. It does almost 20,000 damage, right? So it really does increase your damage quite a lot if you fill up the bar at the bottom, which is fairly easy. You just have to use your abilities, right? The problem is that if you miss your abilities, you will have to wait a little bit, wait for the cooldowns to come back up, right, in order to actually get your bar at the bottom to fill again, because you can actually it's actually kind of hard in that sense, right? So it's very easy if the target is like not moving a lot, kind of like the mud monster, right? But like using Todoroki against, for example, Tesla, right, is a pain in the rear. because he teleports around so much, or Hanzo too. They teleport around so much, it's really hard to land all of your abilities so that you can charge your bar, so you can use your Q with double damage. It's really a pain, but yeah, basically that's the gist of it. So one more thing, while Todoroki is in ice form, if he lands 3 of his abilities, it doesn't need to, a lot of people think that it has to be his W, but it really doesn't need to be his W. It can be just like one of his W or 2 of his W's and one of his E, right? It says 3 hits, but as you can see, I'm actually doing it with less than that, so I'm not sure if it's maybe a talent or I misread something, or it's just because, you know, you can see right there that he's in the freezing state. So yeah, right now he isn't, so let's try. So 1 and 2. Yeah, so you do need 3, right? Okay, there you go. See, so you just need to land 3 ice abilities on the enemy and it will freeze them until they take damage, or for a little while. It's actually 2 or 3 seconds, I think. So yeah, it's very useful. So you definitely want that for sure. You want to land your ice abilities for sure, especially, right? Obviously you want to land all of your abilities, but yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the W now. So W in ice form basically has 3 charges, right? So just 3 charges that you can land so you can freeze your enemy, right? They recharge every 5 seconds, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You just shoot so that you can freeze your enemy, pretty much, right? Also, they increase your bar, of course, you know that. And then for his fire W, it's actually a little hard to land optimally, right? You have to be at a certain distance, and yeah, so like he could kind of like fires a little stream and then he turns into like a ball of fire, sort of, you know. So yeah, you just have to be at a certain distance in order to land it properly. But you know, it looks really cool. It's an AoE damage. Even if they do stand in the little stream, like in the thin little line first, they will still take a ton of damage. So yeah, so now let's move on to his E, right? So I don't know why I switched to ice right there, but yeah, sure, let's start with his ice E. So his ice E is actually going to drag enemies or pull enemies towards Todoroki, just like that. See, they bring in like they each kind of like pulls them into that little thing that he makes, that like little house, right, that he makes. So very useful to bring them close to you, so that you can, you know, you can bring them close to you so that you can land your W's, right? You basically only need to like get him close to you, and then you just land 2 W's, hopefully, and then they're frozen and you can beat them up, right? So yeah, very useful. And then for his E ability, it's basically a charged fist. As you can see, I just charged, then it's a gap closer and it deals a ton of damage, right? A ton of damage. It's really cool. It's like in my opinion, it is Shoto's or Todoroki's coolest looking ability. I really like it. It's a very long gap closer too, as you can see. It's a very long gap closer, so yeah, very useful. Then for his ultimate, his ultimate is actually one that does more than just a ton of damage. You know, I did say before, I think it was with Stain, that I thought he was the only character whose ult did more than just a ton of damage, but I was wrong. Todoroki also does a few things with his ult. So basically, when you do his ult, which by the way I think is the worst looking one out of all the ults in the game, to be honest, I really don't like how it looks. You can see that I get both of my bars filled up, right? So very good, very useful. I get a double damage, so then my ultimate is also going to give me a 20% increase in the ice and fire combo, right? So basically, if I combo with my abilities, pretty much, right? You know, we'll go through the combos later on, but basically, just using your abilities, you get 20% extra damage if you just land everything properly, right? So yeah, it fills up both bars, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, this is a very simple character. You know, he might look a little complicated because he has 2 sets of abilities, but actually he's very simple to use. Then we have his quirk. His quirk is actually very, like, doesn't really do much. So with his quirk, basically, if you're on ice form, it will make you immune to breaks and CC while you're dodging, right? So your quirk pretty much only gives you advantages if you're dodging, right? So if you dodge while in ice form, you are immune to breaks or CC, pretty much. That's it, right? And then for his fire form, if you have your bar filled on fire form, right? Well, actually, I don't know if you need to have your bar filled on to use your quirk. I'm not sure, honestly. Someone please let me know in the comments. But basically, in your fire form, if you use your quirk and you dodge, of course, right? If you dodge, in your fire form, you get a higher dodge chance, which I take that to mean, if I'm wrong, please someone let me know in the comments, but I take that to mean that basically you like the window to dodge, right, to perfect dodge is wider, right? Like you have more time to dodge is what I understand by dodge chance. Also dodge speed, so basically you just dodge faster. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what the abilities say. And also it gives you dodge distance, so basically you just dodge further, I guess, right? Let me show you guys. So yeah, it's not a very noticeable difference, to be honest, but yeah, that's it. So his quirk basically enhances both of his dodges depending on which form he is in. I don't think he really needs to charge his bars, but again, let me know, guys, if I'm completely wrong here. So yeah, again, Todoroki, very simple, very straightforward to use. He's really fun, but he does have that kind of disadvantage of having to land all of his abilities. Also, some of his abilities are interruptible, so that sucks, because if you get interrupted or you miss your abilities, then you're gonna be in a very bad spot. He's basically the very definition of a mage, right? Like he is the closest thing to an RPG mage that we have in My Hero. That's basically Todoroki, right? So yeah, that's it, guys. Let's go now to his core gameplay. So for his core gameplay, you'll want to focus on building his cold or hot bars in order to get the most damage out of him. Again, same thing that I was just saying, guys. You want to charge your stuff, because if you do, you will deal more damage with your Qs, right? Also, if you build him correctly with the proper talents and the proper chips and everything, right? Fire form will give you 100% crit damage for 5 seconds, and ice form will give you some healing. So basically what that means is whenever you switch forms, right, whenever you want to do that, of course, with your fully charged Q, you will get an extra benefit depending on which form you're switching to, right? So you definitely always want to charge your bar all the way before you actually use your Q to switch, right? Obviously there are exceptions to that, right? If you're in a tight spot, if you want to freeze an enemy so that they don't like bash your face or that they stay still while you buy some time, stuff like that, right? Obviously it's very conditional, but in general you will want to charge your quirk bar before you use your Q. So then we have that your biggest burst damage is going to come from your fire form E when it's fully charged. So let's go do that. So fully charged fire form E, then we have our Q, right? Ice Q, W, right? So that is a very powerful combo to burst down an enemy, right? So you want to burst down enemies when when you want to finish them off, right? When they have low health. That is a very good way to do so. You just do bam, then bam, and bam, bam, right? So yeah, I did like 4 bams there, but you get what I mean. So yeah, that's a very powerful burst combo. Basically, if you want to deal a ton of damage very quick. If you have Cellophane, right, the 5-star card equipped on Todoroki, you definitely want to pop his quirk right before you start that same combo, right? And the reason why is because Cellophane is going to give you a ton of advantages whenever you use your quirk. So definitely want to activate your quirk before starting that burst combo, right? Otherwise it's not really necessary to use your quirk, because like I said, his quirk is very underwhelming. It just improves your dodge a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. So then we can go through his combos. So let's do that. We're gonna go through his combos. So basically, whenever the fight starts, you're going to start in ice form, right? So you'll start in ice form. You'll shoot one W, then you'll do E. Then you're gonna do W, W, and then you're gonna go fire, right? And you're gonna do W again, and then you're gonna charge your E, hit him, and then you just auto, right, until your Q is back up and you can just slam them, right? So let's do this one more time. So you're gonna start in ice form, right? So we're gonna do W, E, W, W, then we're gonna do Q, W, then we're gonna charge our E, and we are going to auto until Q is back up, Q is back up, and then, you know, we just do the same thing, W, E, right, and then just auto tag while the W is charged until you get your full bar all over again, right? So there we go. Then same thing, right? So you just go through the motions over and over again. So again, very simple. It's very simple for me to do this while the enemy doesn't move, while I'm not fighting a very mobile boss like Tesla, right? But again, Todoroki is the very definition of a mage in My Hero, so you will definitely have a very hard time against very highly mobile bosses, because it will be very hard to hit all of your abilities, to land all of your abilities. It will be very hard to not get interrupted, and therefore it will be very hard to charge your quirk bar so that you can use your Q and take advantage of that double damage, right? So for sure. Then one more tip that we have for you is that when you're in ice mode, you want to spam your W as much as possible, because you get an ice shard back every 5 seconds, and with the chipset you will always launch at full charge and you will deal also bonus damage, right? So definitely want to take advantage of that. Let me just read you really quick what the chipset actually does. It says ice ray increases by 50% and requires no charge hub, right? So as you can see, I'm not actually charging my my W, I just shoot it right away. So that's basically why, right? So usually it takes a bit of a longer animation to do this, but you know, I can just spam them super quick so that the enemy doesn't have time to react, move away, dodge, stuff like that, right? So yeah, definitely want to prioritize getting his chips as fast as possible, right? So yeah, and they'll also deal tons of damage, extra damage, right? His ability is actually very damaging. It might not seem like it because it's a, you know, it's a CC ability, so it might not seem like it will deal a ton of damage, but no, it does incredible amounts of damage. Alright, and now let's do his support cards. So for his support cards, right, obviously you are going to want his exclusive cards, his EX cards, of course, as usual, right? So you know, like with every single character ever, one of them just gives you 12% extra damage, right? And the other one actually gives you that whenever Todoroki enters, you know, fulfills one of his bars, right, by using his abilities or by using his ultimate, you will get a stack of sublimation that increases his damage by 4% for 10 seconds, up to 5 stacks, so up to 20%, you know. So obviously if you have this card, you will want to be switching back and forth as much as possible. I'm sorry, not switching back and forth, but filling your quirk bar all the time, right? But you know, again, like that is just part of his kit, that is just something that you should be doing at all times. So you know, just play him like you would usually play him and you will just deal more damage, basically. So then we have Mustard. Mustard is actually going to be pretty good. Let me just find him so I can rate it for you guys. But yeah, Mustard basically says that after using a skill, the character gains a stack of Poisonous Fog status for 5 seconds, up to 10 stacks, right? So each stack of Poisonous Fog status can increase the skill damage caused by the character by 1%, right? So basically you can increase your damage by up to 10%. Just by using your skills, basically, right? I'm sorry if you can hear my dog, he really wants to play. So yeah, basically you can increase your damage with Mustard. And then the other card that you will definitely want to use is Shigi, because Shigi is actually going to give you, if I'm not wrong, let me find him, I don't know why I can't find my cards today. Shigi is going to give you penetration whenever you use your auto attacks or your skills, pretty much. That's just what Shigi does. Here it is. When characters' attacks hits, there is a chance to enter player mode and penetration rate is increased by 20% for 10 seconds. So Shigi is an amazing card. You know, if you're new to the game, I would definitely recommend that you prioritize trying to get Shigi, because he will be very good with most characters. He's just amazing. Then for his budget cards, I'm not gonna read each one of them, but because you guys already know what they do. So we have Mei, Ragdoll, of course, you know, Ragdoll for the crit, Mei because it increases damage, the damage of your skills. Cellophane basically shreds the enemy's defense, and then we have I forgot her name, Kami? I completely forgot her name. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, she basically gives you some hyper armor. So yeah, pretty good for Todoroki, because you don't want your skills to be interrupted, because again, you won't be able to fill your quirk bar, and then you will be missing out on a lot of damage, right? And then finally, guys, for his chips. So you want to use, you want to have crit, of course. Crit is always good with most characters, right? It's always a good stat to prioritize, and you know, if it's not crit, then you should be technical, right? So because obviously technical is going to just overall be the best stat for Todoroki. Same as any character, you know, like having their type is useful, right? That just goes with how the game works. One last tip from the miscellaneous part. Again, guys, if you have any suggestions, anything you want added to the guide, please let me know and I will definitely add it. That's why I left all this empty space here. But one last tip is going to be that you need to be especially cautious when you're using your fire form abilities, because the W and the fully charged E will instantly max your bar, but E can be interrupted while charging, and then it won't grant you any you know, increase on your hit bar, right? On your heat bar. So yeah, English is hard. So yeah, guys, that's basically going to be the guide. Very simple character, I would say. Very fun to use if you like mages in RPGs in general, right? Like I said before, he's like the very definition of a mage in My Hero. So yeah, very fun character. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was informative to you. Leave a like, guys, if you enjoyed. Leave a comment. What do you think? Do you have anything to add? Do you think I should change or you know, remove anything from the guide? Please, I'm all ears. And yeah, subscribe if you like more guides like this, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.